The Commonwealth Head of Government's meeting in Kigali, Rwanda. Cameroon's Prime Minister Dr. Dangote represents Cameroon at the meeting where leaders will be reaffirming common values and agree actions and policies that will improve the livelihoods of its citizens. You're watching the 6:15 p.m. newscast in the English language on Canal the International. My name is Gladys Ambodiba. Cameroon's Prime Minister and Head of Government has arrived Kigali ahead of the Commonwealth Head of Government Summit. Before taking off for Rwanda, Joseph Dangote made a brief stop in Douala where he held talks with the top administrative and security officials of the littoral region. And the cocoa and coffee farmers in Cameroon will soon receive subventions of over 7 billion francs CFA from the state to be able to boost their production, which is relatively low at the moment. The distribution process begins this Friday. And a fake military officer going around as corporal in his late uncle's uniform is presently in detention in a gendarmerie in the nation's capital, Yaoundé. His uniform, dressing and attire exposed him at the Nomayos mixed control point in the outskirts of the nation's capital, where he was arrested. Those were our headlines. Stay tuned for developments. Good evening once again. Cameroon's head of government, Dr. Dangote, has arrived at Kigali ahead of the Commonwealth Head of Government Summit. Before taking off for Rwanda, Joseph Dangote made a stopover in Douala where he met with top administrative and security officials in the littoral region. The Commonwealth Summit resumed 2 years after suspension due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The details, originally Ketandak.
Take off at the Douala International Airport. On board this Cameco TJ-AKK flight is Prime Minister Joseph Dangote, who is heading to the Heads of Government Summit of Commonwealth nations ongoing in Kigali, Rwanda. Before taking off, the head of government made a brief stop and exchange with top administrative and security officials of the littoral region. Amongst them, the governor of the littoral region, Samuel Ivadiboa. The Commonwealth Business Forum is being hosted by the Rwandan President Paul Kagame, who has urged leaders to act now.
All of us, as we are here, the panel, the audience, we seem to very well understand what we need to do. We must do it. And so that some of the things we are saying don't remain just as slogans, things like that. The young people are talking about and have talked about so many times in all sorts of ways, and we know there are millions and millions of them out there. We also need to be thinking of what we do more with them than for them, because they know what to do as well. All they need are these inputs which many people mentioned here.
The summit was originally scheduled for June 2020, but postponed several times due to the coronavirus pandemic, preceded by several fora since Monday. The meeting will officially open on June 24th and run through June 26th, with the main high-level meetings of heads of government scheduled for Friday and Saturday.
And a fake military officer going around in his uncle's uniform is currently in detention in a gendarmerie in the nation's capital, Yaoundé. His uniform, his dressing and attitude exposed him to the mixed control point, or to the security officers who were at a mixed control point in the nation's capital, Yaoundé. He was arrested and presented to the press today in the nation's capital, Yaoundé. Beatrice Ngamo with more.
Here is a 21-year-old young man who parades around as a corporal and at times marine officer, a presumed fake, especially as his uniform, dressing, and attitude sold him out. Sitting in front of the bus when the gendarmerie stopped the car,
I made a rude geste. I raised my arm, asking what it is. Then asked my card, permission title, and they asked me to leave the car. That is how I was taken.
This was last Monday, June the 20th, while he was traveling to Cliquez.
Our element cash in the Nomayos checkpoint, a military was passed as a caporal chef. And then when we asked the question, we see that the man was a fake military, and we catch it and bring into the National Gendarmerie for exploitation.
The uniform he is wearing belongs to his late uncle. One chief warrant officer and green uniform displayed also belongs to him. The ardor of this young guy, named Zobo, a deep passion.
J'étais juste fier de porter cela. Petit que j'étais militaire dans ma tête.
His arrest falls in line with measures in place by the National Gendarmerie to filter and monitor all leaving and entering the town.
The measures that we take to enforce the measures, as I said a while ago, the Haute Command take multiple measures to securize the interests of the town.
Presenting the old offender, who is from the Yaoundé Kondenge prison, after a similar military guard. This June the 22nd, the Chief of Intelligence, Transmission and Security at the Central Legion Gendarmerie said he will be transferred to the military tribunal. He adds to the list of fake military officials arrested recently, after that at Makak and Douala.
We Talk Health, the fourth phase of the campaign against malaria kicks off in regions across the country. The campaign to run to 2023 will include the distribution of 17 million treated mosquito nets and sensitization talks. The exercise was officially launched on Tuesday by the Minister of Public Health, Malachi Manauda, who equally unveiled the strategies. Hyacinthia with more.
In 2022, malaria is still a huge threat to Cameroonians. According to the Minister of Public Health, Manauda Malachi, 30% of consultation cases in different health units, 50% hospitalized, 43% of the cases being children of less than 5 years old. Over 13% deaths in Cameroon yearly are caused by malaria. Faced with this, the government has launched the fourth phase of the campaign against the disease to run from 2022 to 2023.
Cameroon, with the support of its partners in response to this scourge, has made significant efforts to set up strategies for the prevention and management of malaria.
In a press conference this Tuesday, June 21st in Yaoundé, Manauda Malachi unveiled the 3 steps of this fourth phase.
Each of these plans, in line with the health sector strategy, highlights activities to promote malaria control and prevention through the distribution of long-lasting insecticide-treated bed nets with universal coverage to the entire population, coupled with the continuous distribution of these concerned bed nets to pregnant women and infants during prenatal consultations and vaccination respectively.
As part of the campaign, a total of 16,756,200 treated mosquito nets of milder quality will be distributed to the over 27 million population of the 10 regions of the country.
Cocoa and coffee farmers in Cameroon will soon receive subventions of over 7 billion CFA francs from the state to help boost production, which is relatively low at the moment. The distribution process begins this Friday and was unveiled at a press conference in the nation's capital, Yaoundé, organized by the Development Fund of the cocoa and coffee sector in Cameroon. Hi, Sentia, once again.
It is good news for cocoa and coffee producers in Cameroon. After a long crying period, their subventions are finally here. 7,500 million CFA francs to be distributed to 10,000 beneficiaries of this first phase within the Mongo pilot zone. 500 farmers who have already undertaken the online registration process will be receiving their package this Friday, June 24th, at Melong, Littoral Region, during the official launch of the initiative by the Development Fund for the cocoa and coffee sector. The cash flow to be direct from CODEF to the farmers. No intermediaries for proper management and economic reasons.
The situation is we have to pay those intermediaries, and it is a part of that subsidy that is going to those people. So by giving direct subsidies, we intend to implement for the benefit of the producers.
Cognizance of the digital difficulties in rural areas, the administrator urges the local population to collaborate frankly to be able to massively follow the process.
I'm sure that even if we are in front of a not person that is not really interested in those new things like digitals, by being helped by another person, everything will work.
The overall government objective is to increase the production of cocoa to at least 640,000 tons by 2030 compared to 257,000 tons at the moment, and move coffee production from 22,000 to 160,000 tons.
And still in economic news, Cameroon and Turkey have multiplied strategies to boost bilateral trade. The measures were taken during a General Assembly of the Turkish and Cameroonian Businessmen Association that held recently in the nation's capital, Yaoundé. Fostering the economic sector through international trade was the main objective of the forum. The details with Omokosome.
Reflecting on the need to intensify the commercial relations between the economic actors of Cameroon and Turkey, the objective of the General Assembly held recently in Yaoundé. This to boost trade and promote better deployment of Cameroonian economic operators towards the Turkish market.
Les relations, disons, avec le pays.
The relations between Cameroon and Turkey has a lot of potentials, and we are trying to give the best out of us to promote these relations, not only in the domain of trade, but also in others, like cultures, arts, and many others. We have to work with the members of this association to better promote the relations and go further.
Améliorer ces relations et pour avancer beaucoup plus qu'aujourd'hui.
Areas of focus include textiles, innovative products, construction, food products, among others, though it is still very slow due to the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic.
Il faut avoir un peu plus de contact, parce que là, je trouve qu'il y a très peu de contact.
It's good to have more contact, because for some years now, due to the outbreak of COVID-19, we have not been able to mobilize and travel that much. We really need true businessmen. As the president just said, when you talk to people in Turkey about Africa, they shift away because they say they are black. So we need to break this social barrier.
Il faut donc casser déjà ça.
During the exchange, some measures to boost this international trade was taken, like increasing the number of traders, working with the targeted business institutions, and promoting the Made in Cameroon in Turkey.
And And then we come back to World Music Day that was celebrated yesterday, June 21, 2022. In Bamenda, in the northwest region of Cameroon, a concert was organized to that effect. We had half of 100 of music artists who actually thrilled the population. It was an opportunity for the president of the Association of Artists in that region to re-echo the need for professional halls in Bamenda in the northwest region of the country. More with Sherifa Saleh.
It is in this cabaret, downtown Commercial Avenue, that music artists in Bamenda converged to celebrate the 40th edition of World Music Day, Tuesday, June 21st, 2022, under the Cameroonian theme, Music for Joy, Unity and Security for All. Opportunity for the creators of works of the soul to look at themselves in the mirror from past to present for better days ahead.
Because there is confusion and jealousy, gossiping, and all these things. They don't appreciate what they should learn to appreciate what their friends are doing. But in our days, we didn't have all these opportunities that they have. We need to work in group before we can produce music.
Avoiding lengthy speeches, the delegations of arts and culture and Sonacam punctuated the live and playbacks with a few words for a new vision.
I encourage you to treat the content of your music with care, as your music lives on even when you are gone. I don't need to remind you that you shouldn't fail to transmit your know-how to posterity. It is your legacy.
And like Marvin Gaye sang, in the old days, let the music play on. For the rest of the evening, the hot beats of Njang, or the local slows, blended with gospel, vibrated the first floor of Big Brother Cabaret overlooking the Bamenda main market.
And still in relation to World Music Day, our newsroom took special interest on the place of Makossa in contemporary society and what the future holds for the genre of music with the evolution of the different trends of musical genre. Fans in Douala are certain that Makossa remains irreplaceable. Details with Stephanie Chen.
The future existence of the Makossa brand of music is questionable with the evolving trends and tastes of other musical genres as years go by. But fans in Douala say the place of Makossa is indisputable. Makossa has a wonderful future. It can be played in different ways, but will keep its originality. Proof, there are many youths who are into Makossa and are renowned in the art. Even in the dream, Makossa cannot be turned off. Do whatever thing you like, turn around. Every other thing will go, but Makossa remains. Makossa is the base and deeply rooted. Despite the little transformations done left and right, Makossa remains foundational. Celebrating World Music Day, fans in Douala insist that other genres of music get their inspiration from Makossa, which to them is the foundational brand of music. A majority of the music that was generally considered modern or urban music, a term that I don't like in the first place because there is nothing like urban music, given that at times they draw from old Makossa genres to come out with the new wave of modern rhythms. The strength of Kassav was Makossa. I will dare say Makossa is a culture. There are many European-based artists that practice the Makossa rhythm, and they have brought the influence of Makossa to other spheres today. Makossa fans say in order to preserve its value, the younger generation must be versed with their cultural values.
Music Day in Yaoundé was backed by a military music concert at the Yaoundé Multipurpose Sports Complex, an event which revealed the hidden musical talent hiding under the uniform. More with Hyson Shia.
The spectacular downsteps, mouth-watering display by the uniformed men and women, beautiful melody produced here by the police orchestra, all jams flowing through their voices naturally, the old-time Makossa. Foreign rhythms not left out. These, as various units like the National Gendarmerie, the Army, custom officials, the National Police Forces, ex-servicemen and war victims, as well as thousands of civilians who turn out here at the Yaoundé Multipurpose Sports Complex. The concert plays under the theme, Army and Nation, Together to Consolidate Peace and Development, was presided at by the Secretary of State in charge of National Gendarmerie, Galaxy Toga. A perfect moment for the military to revisit the sweet rhythms of the Sangalewa group.
It is with that report on World Music Day that we wrap up this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. The French edition of the news will be yours at 7:50 p.m. with Lil Piedju. I will be yours again tomorrow, same time, God willing. Bye-bye.
International, votre télévision. Du lundi au vendredi.